Der kleine Jimmy lebt mit seiner Mutter auf einem verlassenen Raumflughafen. Durch Zufall fällt ihm der Lageplan eines Schatzes im All in die Hand, der von dem berüchtigten Raumpiraten Flint stammt. Jimmy vertraut diesen Plan seinen Freunden Dr. Livesey und Graf Ravano an. Sie beschließen, eine Expedition auszurüsten, um den Schatz zu heben. Der erfahrene Silver wird mit der Suche nach einem Raumschiff und mit der Anheuerung der Mannschaft betraut. Jimmy darf als Schiffsjunge mitfahren. Die Mannschaft besteht in Wirklichkeit aus Piraten, die ungeduldig auf die Gelegenheit warten, den Grafen und seine Freunde zu beseitigen. Sie wollen den Schatz für sich allein. Arrow, der Pilot des Raumschiffes, ein Alkoholiker, kommt ums Leben, als er eines Nachts versucht, die Flaschen, die er außerhalb des Raumschiffes versteckt hat, hereinzuholen. Er wird von einem Meteoritenschwarm getötet. Das Raumschiff gerät außer Kontrolle und Kapitän Smollett kann nur unter Lebensgefahr den Schaden beheben.
Wir alle haben ihn zu danken. Danke.
Crewman Augustine.
Yes, sir.
You'll organize a squad for Chief Technician Aerosmith's funeral. Immediately. Substitute the isolators and broken tubes. Turn on the converter in Section C.
It will be done, sir. All right, you heard the man. Now get...
Watch out!
Hold on, Doctor. Yo. Got the wrong leg?
Is it that bad?
Last time it was worse, Jimmy.
Mr. Silver, you're a very lucky man.
Yes, sir. Very, very lucky.
Just like that other time when...
What time? Come on, Jimmy. Give me a hand. Come on. That's it. Nice and easy. That's it. No, they're coming. They're coming. They'll be here soon. They're coming. I know they're here. And he'll be coming.
He? Who's he?
The one-legged bastard. He'll be coming. He's coming. No. Hey, don't leave me, boy. What's the matter?
Nothing, Mr. Silver.
Come on, I know you very well. Spit it out. Give me that screwdriver. Spit it out. The side of Arrow bother you?
Well, that too.
Get over there. Hold the leg. That too, huh? You know, you're a very bright young man. Sometimes I think you know more than you let on.
Well...
Well, what? Come on over here. Give me that saw. What?
Up the radio beacon in Floridia. Billy Bones.
What about Billy Bones?
Well, he was waiting for someone called Arrow.
You sure it was Arrow?
Yes.
I must say I didn't know him very well. The squire hired him.
Your attention, this is the captain speaking. You will suspend all work and assist Chief Technician Aerosmith's funeral service in front of your TV screen.
Well, if he was a pirate, his pirating days are over. Everybody else on board is okay, no?
Well, I don't know about Mr. Hans.
Henry, all right? We must keep our eyes on him.
The Lord is my conductor. I am saved. He leadeth me through limpid skies. He maketh me rest in the still of the cosmos. He leadeth me in the orbit of righteousness for his name's sake. And should I venture into dark galaxies, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy stars are my comfort. I shall abide in the Lord's planet. delivered from evil. For in his kingdom lies the salvation of our souls. Grant our brother eternal rest, O Lord. Let him know the splendor of your light. Cleanse him of all evil and launch him to the heights of your universal spirit.
Push it over.
Latch on. Open hatch. We trust this body to infinite space. May God, Lord of all, save his soul. Amen.
Amen. There he goes on his last journey.
Where will he go?
He's headed for the sun. The great crematorium. So it won't matter if he was a pirate or a gentleman.
Your attention. The funeral service is over. All hands will resume their posts.
Did you tell the doctor about Arrow?
No, nobody.
Good. Any more suspects?
No.
You don't suspect me, do you? Just because I have a plastic leg?
What? Oh. No, but how did you lose it?
Oh, I was a young man fighting a sea battle. All of a sudden, there was a brilliant white light. I woke up in a hospital. I looked down. I was minus a leg. I stared at the stump. I just stared at it. The doctors gave me a shot, put me back to sleep. When I woke up, I had 2 legs. One of them was plastic, but it was mine.
Why couldn't they transplant a real one?
Well, they could have later, but I had grown fond of it. And besides, I didn't have to cut the nails.
By the way, who won the battle?
Oh, what battle?
The sea battle. The one you were in.
Oh, we did. Naturally. I have a surprise for you.
Jimmy, darling, I was told that there'd be quite a lapse before my voice and image reach you, and that you'd only be able to hear me in 5 hours' time. I know that radio waves take next to nothing to reach their destination, so goodness knows just how far away you are from me, son. I miss you so much, Jim. I know this is a fine experience for you, and I wouldn't have had you miss it, but I can't help being lonely. I go around talking to myself.
Time's running out, Mrs. Hawkins.
I've little time. What else can I say? Let me be proud of you, son. Always. Goodbye. Come back soon. Jimmy. I love you. She's gone.
Yes.
Can I hear her again?
Not now. First you have to reply. So, wait for the signal and then speak quickly. Ready now. This is your last chance to send a message. The channel is open only for a short time, and when we make the great leap, all radio contact will be lost. Televideo to retransmit to Radio Beacon, Floridia.
Private calls from Earth to space in those days were, time-wise, very restricted. And we were also required to answer every communication immediately. A sort of cause and effect, action and counteraction method of transmission, to avoid having loose ends of conversation floating and polluting the vacuum of hyperspace. I was so tense that I used my allotted time practically babbling to my poor mother.
Failure. Bye, Mommy. Bye-bye.
End of communication.
And that's the end, huh?
Should be pleased. They made a big exception for you.
Well, can I hear it again?
Your attention, please. The captain informs you that the countdown at 100 digits for passage into hyperspace will begin shortly.
Oh, just in time. Go back. You can't stay here during the leap.
All crew members not assigned to hyperspace passage operations shall remain in their sleeping quarters until further notice.
This is the captain speaking. Get to your bunks, fasten your safety belts.
We go automatic, sir?
Insert automatic, but with short-term conversion to manual. I don't trust this old heap.
Doctor, I wanted to thank you.
Oh, so you spoke to your mother then?
Yeah, it was great. That's what I wanted to thank you for.
Oh, no, we should thank Mr. Silver. It was his idea. He thought you'd like to take advantage of the last chance before the leap. So he came and asked the squire, and the squire asked the captain.
Oh, he's a fine man. Very fine man indeed.
Yes, he seems to have taken quite a liking to you, Jimmy.
I like him too.
The captain, too, would have been first rate if he hadn't turned this ship into a convent of nuns. You have any booze?
No, it's all been confiscated. Besides, squire, it's not very good for that liver of yours.
And what are you studying today?
Well, if you don't mind, he's continuing his study of hyperspace physics.
And I bet you don't understand a thing, do you?
No.
That's because scientists make it so difficult. Listen to me. Look, here's where we are now in our solar system, and we want to get to Vega. How many years would you say it takes for light to travel from our sun to Vega?
25?
Okay, let's say 25. Fine, 25 light years. That's 300,000 kilometers a second, like nothing. 300,000 kilometers. With our energy at full speed, we travel at 100,000 a second, which is a fine speed indeed, but only 1/3 the speed of light. So it'll take us 3 times 25 light years for us to get to Vega. 3 times 25 is 70 years.
75, squire.
It's the same, by way of example, anyway. Perhaps you would make it, but the doctor would be long dead.
And what about yourself, squire?
I would be bored. 75 years are too long. That's why we make the leap.
I don't understand what this leap is.
Yeah, well, I can imagine how he explained it to you. Right. Take this sheet in your hand like this. You see this dot?
Yeah?
If an ant, for example, wanted to go from here to this other dot, what path would that ant take? What distance would the ant have covered in doing so?
10 here, 10 there, 20 centimeters.
And if a clever ant made a hole in the sheet and went straight through to the other side, what's the distance it would have covered?
Much less than a millimeter.
That's what we'll do.
Yeah, but how?
How? How and why are problems of astrophysics. I've explained to you only the idea, the concept. Have you understood? No?
Yeah, sort of.
You see how easy it is to explain?
Are you satisfied with that explanation, Jim?
No. How do we break through that hole, sir?
Well, Jimmy, fortunately, the calculators that have to work all this out for the leap do so in a fraction of a second. And within that minute fraction, the leap will take us into another dimension. And then, just as rapidly, back into our own familiar dimension. Now, if the calculations are correct, we should re-enter very close to the place that we want to go.
But what if they're wrong?
Well, that's a hypothetical question, but in that case, I'd say there's no need to worry about it.
Well, for example, you could end up in another galaxy if your calculations are off.
And how? On a fixed route, however. Calculations are always exact.
When are we going to make this great leap?
Well, it should be about now.
Your attention, please. This is the captain speaking. In a few moments, we initiate our countdown for passage into intergalactic space. Your attention. This is the captain to the crew. Attention. The countdown is about to begin for a passage into hyperspace.
Well, Why don't we help the passage with a drink?
The captain's duty to
Joyce,
inform you,
Michael,
as it is to warn you, that on entering hyperspace, all intergalactic laws and regulations as stated in Book 9 of the Instruction Manual are applicable on this ship.
Dim the lights for nighttime travel.
You got the jitters, Augie?
No.
The belt, Bobo.
It's too late.
Cool it. Tighten that belt around your neck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Your belt, what's the matter with you?
Talk to me, I'm lonely.
Pete,
And how about you, Poopy Doll?
I'm in charge of you space farts for tonight, so I get to sleep in the hall, thank God.
This is the
Joyce,
captain's
fix me a
command.
great drink
All
for the great
passengers,
leap.
remember. I will repeat verbatim my previous announcement. I warn you
That
that
on entering hyperspace, all intergalactic laws and regulations as stated in Book 9 of the Manual Instruction will be applied on this spaceship. Oh.
Detach all instruments that use electric energy, except for the pumps that regenerate the air.
Aye, aye, sir.
Disconnect communication system.
We're off on an adventure guided by a beautiful...
What happened?
It's okay. Relax.
De-induction, Mr. Hands. Steady. Steady, Mr. Hands. Hold her in. Reduce nuclear power. Easy. Keep her reined in.
Doctor! Look, he's...
Give him time, Jim. He's still in the other dimension. Now, he should be arriving.
Auxiliary frequency, Captain.
Switch to 5.6. Have faith, Mr. Hands.
Guided by a bureaucrat. Something wrong with you, too? I didn't feel a thing.
Well, thank goodness for that, Squire.
Joyce!
You okay, Pete?
I feel funny.
Yeah, me too.
Captain.
Okay, hold to this course.
What is that thing?
I don't know, Jumbo. We never strayed off course, Captain.
What do you think, Squire?
I think you should keep quiet.
Coordinates correspond.
That's nice to know.
Unless they've been manipulated. We'll soon find out, gentlemen.
Unless they have been manipulated, The captain pronounced those words almost as an afterthought, and yet they have remained in my mind. He was wary of most everyone and everything, and his apprehension was contagious. We felt it too, the doctor, the squire, and I. Anxiety was in the air.
What a strange corner of the universe.
Not many stars.
Cosmic dust is hiding them.
That planet, Captain. What? Well, the system
That's hibiscus, sir. Only hibiscus is that color.
So you've been here before, Mr. Silver?
I've been here before, sir.
You have?
An emergency, sir. A forced landing.
A forced landing, Silver had said. A lame explanation which did little to quell our tension. It hung in the air like a stagnant utterance, each one of us trying to guess the truth of it all.
What about that star? It seems very close, doesn't it?
It's just what I was looking at. It's not a star, it's a wreckage.
Here, sir, things are not what they seem.
It's a wreckage.
It's a wreckage.
You're certain now, Mr. Silver?
Yes, sir. Right, Captain?
It was obviously a cargo ship.
Yes, and it was rammed.
It was what?
It was probably carrying cargo and was very obviously rammed.
By whom, would you say?
Pirates.
Pirates?
I would say so. Trying to board the ship, they faltered and ended up ramming it. No one survived there, neither the pirates nor their victims. Just look at the run it made on impact. Pirates have caused many such accidents, tragedies that stagger the mind.
Mr. Smollett seemed to echo Billy Bones's account of when they had attacked the spaceship Bender, with its cargo of vast riches. And now the menacing signs of Captain Flint's piracy were there, before our very eyes.
This often happens in this area at the edge of the spiral. Mr. Silver, I see that the men have left their posts again.
Get back! Back to post! Go on!
That goes for you too, Mr. Silver.
Yes, sir.
And you.
Go on, Jim.
We'll pull up alongside it. We really didn't need this. We'll lose at least a couple of hours.
We could pretend we haven't seen it, sir.
Mr. Hands, the regulations clearly state that every wreckage is to be inspected and deviated away from the normal routes. You may not employ the regulations, but I do. As soon as we come alongside, order the crew to stay in their bunks. I'll board it with the doctor and Davis.
I saw my mother and spoke to her.
I know.
Thank you, Mr. Silver.
Thanks for what?
Boy, was he cool. He always managed to win me over, even though my doubts about him remained. What a man, Mr. Long John Silver.
Doctor, find yourself a spacesuit. They're set out according to size. I'm sure you'll find one to fit you.
Yeah.
Yes?
Come in.
What for?
The time has come.
Time, for what?
We can get rid of them once and for all when they're outside the ship. We snap the cables, close the hatchways, and go on our merry way. They can't last more than 2 hours.
And the squire, he's staying aboard?
Just a minute.
What about the squire? Well, I saw him in his quarters. I'll go check on him.
All set, Doctor?
Yes, sir.
Good. Follow Davis.
Doctor? Here I am. Weren't you worried I wouldn't make it?
Sure you want to come along with us? It's not going to be much fun.
Oh, it'll be more fun than staying aboard.
You're the only person over whom I've no authority. But this isn't a game we're playing, if that's what you think.
My dear Captain, I'm far less of a fool than I would have people think.
Very true, Squire, but you haven't buttoned up your suit correctly.
Oh, it's my man Joyce's fault.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Davis, check equipment.
Yes, sir.
We do them in. How do we get back with the loot?
I'll get you back. It's all computerized. Gotta make sure that Silver's not double dealing.
Hey, Silver. Shh. Careful. The squire's put on his spacesuit. He's going in the decompression chamber.
Hey, Beatty, you'll never guess.
What? The squire's going with the doctor and the captain.
Great. We can get rid of the whole bunch.
How about Joyce and the boy?
They'll go too.
I'll take care of the boy. I'll let him dance around in space for a while like we used to.
That did it. I no longer had any doubts. The squire had unwittingly enlisted a band of pirates aboard the Hispaniola.
Quiet, you jackass. Hans, you're no better than he is. Shut up! I sail with Flint, second in command. Not part of the motley crew.
You're being offensive, Silver. This motley crew had agreed from the start on this plan. It was a group decision.
I had to warn the doctor and the squire at once.
So why don't you just cut out your spouting? You think you can replace me with your wooden leg?
A group decision.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
A group decision. All right, but don't touch the boy. He can be useful.
I'm glad you agreed, Silver, even though you didn't have much choice. All right, I'm gonna get back to the console before they start looking for me.
the captain speaking. Decompression chamber, Mr. Hands. What's going on up there? Mr. Hands, can't you hear me, damn you?
Loud and clear, Mr. Smollett, sir.
Where were you anyway?
Right here in the control cabin, sir. Relay switch doesn't always work, sir.
When did they leave?
It's quite a while. They must be in the decompression chamber right now.
The switch for the microphone is there. Can you hear?
Oh, yes, that's fine.
Good. You hear me now, Mr. Hands?
Yes, I do, sir.
Then the switch does work, Mr. Hands.
Yes, it does, sir.
Close the inner bulkhead.
Yes, sir.
And the exterior one, too.
Stand by. Grip the pole. Watch the bulkhead.
Where? Ooh.
Doctor! Squire!
I had little choice. I had to warn them, which meant venturing into space. The doctor and I had simulated such an event, and I had studied the technique in the manuals. But this was the real thing.
Gravity forces equalized. Ready for transference.
Open exterior bulkhead.
Exterior bulkhead.
What on earth is that?
A compressed air rifle for launching a cable from here to the wreckage. And this way we're always tied to the mothership. Clever, eh? Astronauts have a name for it, Squire.
Yes?
The umbilical cord.
How charming. Good shot, Captain.
Squire, you must not stray from the cable. Is that clear?
Oh, have no fear, sir. I took a simulated spacewalking test.
Yeah, and thank God it was simulated. You had your suit on backwards.
Oh, but that was Joyce's.
Joyce's fault, oh yeah.
Quiet, you two. This is no parlor game. Follow Chief Technician Davis, right behind me.
Yes, sir. Will do, sir.
Come.
How extraordinary, Captain.
Quiet. Concentrate on your course, sir.
Yes, of course.
Doctor! Doctor!
Hey there. Want a lift?
Follow me closely and don't brush against the contorted metal. It's very sharp. A rip in your suit and you've had it. Go ahead, Davis.
Squire, Doctor, come, the ship's motors are just beyond this substructure.
It's incredible. Everything's exactly as it was upon the moment of impact.
Yes, the instant decompression stopped the thrust of the crash, as it did the lives of those on board.
I was so pleased at having given the slip to Long John Silver and Mr. Hands and the other pirates that it didn't occur to me that I was, at the same time, disobeying the captain's orders, and consequently, the rules of intergalactic behavior. I had been earthbound from the time I was born. I had never even visited the moon. And now, here I was, walking through a wrecked ship in hyperspace.
I hear interference, don't you?
Yeah, probably a servo motor running on the ship's solar batteries.
Got it.
Davis. We'll bring the booster in a little closer. The ship's motors are just beyond.
Yeah, but are they still intact, sir?
I would have preferred you hadn't asked that question.
Sorry, sir.
I had good reason for disobeying. The crew was planning to kill us all. They knew why the Squire had chartered the Hispaniola, just as Silver knew who the blind man Pugh was, and who Black Dog and Billy Bones were. The crew was out for treasure, like us, but they were also out for blood. I had to warn the doctor, the Squire, and Captain Smollett.
Yes, Captain said it would be an old servo motor still kicking over.
Concentrate on the work at hand, please. How about if we set the booster down here, Davis?
Good a place as any, sir. With the infrared remote control, we can turn the ship's motors over from miles away.
Help, somebody!
Play it safe. Use an emergency frequency.
Yes, sir.
We can clear out now.
Well, I can't say that I'm sorry. This is rather like visiting the Castle of Gloom on the Isle of Grief off the Doldrums coast.
I was beginning to panic. The captain was required by law to deviate any wrecked ship from the prescribed routes, whether by activating its motors or by placing a charge inside the craft and pulverizing it. Either way, I was doomed.
This place is like a cemetery.
Yes, thanks to people like Captain Flint, Squire, sir.
Are you hinting at something, Mr. Smollett?
Just food for thought, sir.
I hear those garbled sounds again, Squire.
Yes, I do too, like a vibration.
Well, the captain said it's a servo motor.
But it serves no purpose, that's for sure.
Hey! Got someone here! Help me! Doctor, help! Help me!
I was desperate. Convinced that the relic in which I was trapped was to be my tomb.
It's just like being in a metal forest here, Mr. Smollett. Do you know the way out?
The way we entered, Squire.
That's just what I thought.
Through my tears, I admit I was crying most of the time. I no longer felt so heroic at having disobeyed the captain's orders. But I made the effort, and finally broke loose from that web of pipelines. Now I had to get back to the Hispaniola, and fast.
Keep your suits away from contorted metal and follow me closely. Have them stick to the umbilical cord, Davis.
Sir. Squire.
But this is the best part.
Holy gee! 15 men on a dead man's chest. Oh, and a fistful of drug.
Without thinking, I began singing the song of the very pirates I feared, as if that would help bolster my courage. My friends were destined to be lost in space unless I warned them in time. The thought of the Hispaniola being taken over by pirates urged me on.
Imagine Smollett's face when he finds the bulkhead shut.
Yeah, pounding on the hatch shouting, Mr. Hands!
Yeah.
Well, Lewis, will you check the voltage in my quarters?
You mean in the galley?
Uh-huh.
I read 72, Silver. It's right on.
Seem lower.
We're about to re-enter. Steady as you go. Grasp the cable if you have to slow down. Easy.
Thank you.
We're back inside, Mr. Hands. Close the outer hatch.
They're back on board.
Check the gravity gauges.
Hands, is
said to close the bulkheads. You didn't.
Of course I did. What are you talking about?
Oh, you just pushed the button. But the current was off.
Who could have done something like that?
Me.
Mr. Hands, I ordered a standby, and gravity forces equalized. What's holding you up?
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard.
Aren't you some pilot? I wouldn't trust him with a tricycle.
Yeah, but now that he's back, we're gonna have to keep cleaning up.
Cleaning up.
Clean up.
And then suppose we don't find the map.
Huh. Silver said they had it.
Yeah, but suppose they memorized it and then destroyed it.
Mr. Hands, for the last time, I order you to close all hatches and equalize gravity forces. I consider your conduct as an act of insubordination and will enter it in ship's log as such.
Damn him.
Stand by for recoil of cable entry. Heads up. I want some technicians down, and at once.
The cable is still taut, Squire.
Flag for me!
Look out, Squire!
What's going on? Squire! You okay?
Mm-hmm.
You all right, Squire?
They're pirates! They have decided to leave you out!
Cable re-entered.
Close the bulkhead.
Close outer bulkhead, re-establish air pressure and gravity
How
forces.
did they get in there?
Help the Squire up. Who is this, Captain?
It's me!
Cabin boy, damn him.
Jimmy!
They were out to kill you!
Jimmy, what on earth are you doing here?
They're all pirates!
All hatches closed. Air pressure and gravity forces equalized.
Squire, they're all...
About time.
Dr. Livesey!
Be quiet, Jimmy. You've gone too far this time.
But I did it!
Be quiet, Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy, you're a medicine ball.
Mr. Morgan?
Yes, sir.
Put this boy in a cell for serious misbehavior.
Ah, it's not the case, Captain. He's just a boy.
Yes, he's...
I'll handle discipline on board if you don't mind. Take him away.
Aye, sir. Come on.
Dr. these...
Go on.
Squire!
Shut up.
Lock him up with a manual of the ship's rules and regulations.
Certainly, sir. I'll give him mine.
All right, Davis, let's send the wreck into a better world.
He could have gone off on the wreck. Nobody even knew he was there.
Ignition.
Hallelujah.
Did you really think we'd get the engines to work again, sir?
Another little squiggle. That will do. It will continue by itself now.